Look, the Chicago Bears just got some bad news. But from a certain perspective, I think one of those pieces of bad news actually might be exactly what the Chicago Bears need. So bear with me here. And we're coming into week one. The Chicago Bears, they might be kicking off their 2025 campaign at Soldier Field on Monday night against division foe, the Minnesota Vikings, without two really important players. So I'm not going to celebrate this, but let's get into this, why this might be exactly what the Chicago Bears need. So this is during this last practice report. The injury report is out, and this is bad news. Make no bones about it. Starting linebacker TJ Edwards and backup running back Roschon Johnson both sat out with injuries in the last practice. If it was a full practice yesterday, they would have been the only players that would have completely sat it out in its entirety. Yesterday wasn't a practice day. So this casts serious doubt on whether they're going to make their season debuts against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. And it's not great. I mean, if neither one of these can go, we can expect linebacker Noah Sewell and practice squad running back. He made some noise in the offseason, Britton Brown. These two guys are going to fill in the holes there. And this is straight from Aaron Lemming of Windy City Gridiron. Feels like a very strong chance that Britton Brown gets the call up on Monday night and that Sewell will be playing in place of Edwards. What are we missing here? How is this exactly what the Chicago Bears need? I think what's being missed here is that there's one Bears rookie that has a huge opportunity to make an impact on this game in the biggest spotlight. It's a player I've loved in camp all year. Let's talk about Kyle Manungai, the rookie from Rutgers, 7th round pick. And the Bears, honestly, they're expecting big returns from other rookies. Guys like tight end Colston Loveland, right? Wide receiver Luther Burden III this season. But this late round 2025 draft pick, he might end up making the biggest impact on this team in week one against the Minnesota Vikings. And you heard it here. This is truly what I believe. I think Kyle Manungai, by the time the season's over, might end up being the best running back on this team. I think he has a really unique, a really complete skill set. And let's break into this a little bit because we're talking about a 7th round draft pick in Manungai. And at the time of the draft, he was viewed as a really well-rounded prospect, a guy who deserved to be picked a few rounds earlier than when the Bears picked him. But the Bears needed running back following DeAndre Swift's kind of May year, well documented. They waited until the 7th round to pick up Manungai. Rare opportunity here. And I think it kind of might save the Chicago Bears from themselves. I think there might, in a way, a little bit of obligation to use Roschon Johnson simply because of his draft pedigree. And also, he's been on this team for a long time. But this is a new scheme. This is a new head coach. Different skill sets are needed. And the player that really measures the closest to someone like David Montgomery and like the back of Williams that was there before him, the guy who really has the most measurables that compares the most favorably to David Montgomery, that's Kyle Manungai. And I think we're going to see something really fun here against the Minnesota Vikings. Manungai, he actually took advantage of the summer. He showed who he is as a 7th round draft pick. He made this final 53-man roster. And in Monday night's preseason opener, it's Manungai who's going to be Swift's primary backup runner. And if you look at Manungai from the time that he's been on the team, he's made a strong first impression this preseason. He had 6 carries for 30 yards, which isn't great, but he had an injury that prevented him from getting more playing time during these last 2 preseason games. So now Manungai's opportunity for meaningful regular season touches, it is here, and it is in week 1, and it's against a super tough Minnesota Vikings defense. I'm excited for this. You're looking at the former Rutgers star. He has a chance to carve out a complimentary role opposite DeAndre Swift, and if he does it well, he might actually keep it. So the Bears need a running back like Kyle Manungai, a guy who can gain the tough yards, and he actually compares really favorably to another guy, the guy that I talk about that runs like he's angry at the ground. I'm talking about Isaiah Pacheco from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Manungai is a very similar player, and I think we're blessed to have him. It was supposed to be Roshan Johnson starting out, but this foot injury is going to keep him sidelined. So, kind of talking about there hasn't been a lot of chatter about Manungai being a breakout player this year, but I think we can now circle his name as a guy who might be that. So let's kind of look at this. It's fair to keep expectations low for this player. I don't want to overhype him. He was the number 233rd overall pick. But man, he is powerful. And Ryan Poles initially, he praised Manungai's power and contact balance. And Ben Johnson, he's also complimented his toughness and the fact that he really rarely makes the same mistake twice. He learns really quickly. So many nice words about players during the summer, but the Bears, they are backing this up with action. Manungai, he entered the week's preparation for Monday Night Football at Soldier Field, and he's getting major practice reps. The Bears are going to use him, and I think they're going to use him pretty substantially in this game. So let's hear straight from him. I tried to make the most of every opportunity I was given, every rep. EB always says that the next rep is your most important rep. Eric Bieniemy. I've embodied that mentality and that mantra. Every opportunity I've been given, I try to make the most of it and show them that I believe I belong here. And really, I mean, he has felt the speed of the NFL game early on. He's acclimated really, really quickly in practice. He's stayed in his playbook. He's been talked about by Eric Bieniemy that he always asks the right question and that he follows instructions really, really well, so he's coachable. And I think that helped him develop during this offseason. I think it's helped him earn the trust required to fill this role. You don't see Travis Homer being elevated. You don't see Britton Browns being elevated just as a precautionary, just as in case of an emergency break glass. This number 2 job in this Ben Johnson offense is in fact going to be Kyle Manungai, and I think it's an exciting thing. I think Kyle Manungai getting meaningful reps from the get-go in this game is exactly what the Chicago Bears need, and I think by the end of the year, he very well might be the best back on this team. Absolutely no telling how many carries he's going to get, but just one more thing from Manungai. Football at this high of a level is a detail game. We're a details team, and the team that's going to execute those details is going to come out on top. Whatever our job is on any certain play, I have to execute it with as much detail as I can. Okay, but this TJ Edwards injury, there's no way to sugarcoat that. There's no way that that's a good thing, and we're probably looking at Noah Sewell taking that spot that he is vacating, and this kind of stinks. Last year, I mean, in 2023, he led the Bears of 153 tackles, 90 solo, 2.5 sacks, 3 picks, 2 fumble recoveries, a forced fumble, and then he followed that up with another great year last year. Another 129 tackles, 12 for a loss, 4 sacks, a pick, a forced fumble, 1 tackle shy of leading the team in tackles for the second season in a row, and he was just behind safety Kevin Byard. I mean, without him, the Bears are going to have to rely more on Tremaine Edmonds, right? He's going to have to take the green dot. He's going to have to handle play calling duties on the field. And then we're looking at Sewell and another rookie that I'm super excited about. I'm not sure if he's ready to be thrust into this role, but we're going to have to see. Rookie draft pick Ruben Hippolyte II. He's going to have to step in. He's going to have to step up. So this is going to be really interesting. The good news is that we will have Jalen Johnson. It's looking like that. We do have Kyler Gordon coming back. That's a big relief. And we're pretty healthy up and down this roster. But man, the loss of TJ Edwards, that's going to be felt on the defense. I think this Kyle Manungai start, kind of a co-start, because you know Ben Johnson's going to use both backs in different situations. I think it's exactly what the Bears need. It makes me more excited to watch this game. It also makes me kind of excited that I drafted Kyle Manungai on all my fantasy teams. Kind of saw this coming. I believe in him that much. So not as a starter, though. He's going to be on my fantasy bench for this season. But, man, I'm going to be rooting for him. So you guys bear down. Thanks for sitting through my banter today. I'm a little talkative. I'm really excited about this Kyle Manungai start, and I think it's going to be a good thing. in the when everything comes out in laundry for your Chicago Bears. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Bear down, and we'll talk soon. We're almost to the game.